The DC Extended Universe. So, one side of me is really excited to see my favorite comic book stories come to life, whilst the other side of me is twiddling my thumbs in mass concern. Now, to be clear, I love DC, well, DC Comics. I still have some hope for the DC Extended Universe, even though I'm not too sure they know what they're doing when it comes to their films. Welcome to Big Screen, Little Screen, and today we're going to talk about the DC Extended Universe. So it all began in 2011 when Warner Bros. Announced Man of Steel, which came out in 2013, paving the way for a shared universe. In 2014, DC and Warner were so confident that they boldly confirmed 10 more films they were planning between 2016 and 2020. As we know, Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad came out in 2016. 2017 featured Wonder Woman and Justice League Part 1, which is yet to be released. 2018 we got The Flash and Aquaman. 2019 was Shazam and Justice League Part 2. And 2020 was Cyborg and Green Lantern. Now, those 10 films both excited and raised eyebrows, especially November 2017, which is coming, and that's common knowledge at this point to be Justice League, a team-up film before the team members' individual solo films. Now, back when this was announced, I thought, this is madness. You can't launch the Justice League without the Justice League members' solo films. You just can't do it. You expect me to empathize with 7 superheroes, each of their own individual backstories, beliefs, and ideals, in one feature film that hasn't done anything to set that up but Man of Steel up to that point. I was like, no, I'm not on board. There's a perfect formula of creating a shared superhero universe, and Marvel has it. Copy that formula and you'll be okay. But DC insisted on doing things differently, which I'll say is pretty ballsy. I spoke with several friends who said something along the lines of, they've made these announcements, so they know what they're doing. Since that time, the DC Extended Universe has released 3 of its 10 movies. Now, let's be real. The first 2 films were not off to the best of starts. Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad to most was a disappointment. Batman vs. Superman was overall received negatively by the general public upon its theatrical release. So, as a response to Batman vs. Superman's bad reception, Suicide Squad largely remarketed itself after revealing what fans disliked about the Batman vs. Superman film, complaining that the feel being too dark and crying out for a much lighter tone, which sparked noticeable differences between trailer 1 and 2 of Suicide Squad. Now, even after doing this, Suicide Squad was still unable to dominate the box office upon its release. Nevertheless, third time's the charm because Warner and DC seem to have learned from their mistakes as Wonder Woman was a huge box office success globally. Now, Justice League is next, and despite the shade being thrown at it, it is looking pretty amazing. And behind the scenes, they've done a lot to make sure they don't fuck up. Josh Whedon has even joined on to help with post-production, and they've done a lot of reshooting to involve more Wonder Woman and Cyborg, obviously Wonder Woman because of her box office success. So, where is the cause for concern? If DC are learning from their faults and trying to do things differently, why am I concerned? Because of the ever-changing lineup of films and the directors attached to those films. Since the announcement of the 10 film projects DC and Warner said they were working towards, they've announced more films in the pipeline. Gotham City Sirens, Nightwing, Man of Steel 2, Black Adam. There was even some rumors about Deadshot having his own film at one point. Again, more reasons to get excited and raise eyebrows. Then at Comic-Con in 2017, the remainder of the original 10 films they announced have more or less been changed up so much, remarketed, different directors have come and gone, and now we seem to have what looks like a completely new lineup. Aquaman was already planned, that's not changed, probably because they've started filming it. Shazam, Suicide Squad 2, The Batman, Justice League Dark, Batgirl, Green Lantern Corps, The Flash, Flashpoint, Wonder Woman 2. Now, it just seems to me like they don't really know what they're doing. And I really want to be more hopeful than concerned because I know these new titles are a result of how the general public have reacted to Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman. But if Justice League bombs, if Justice League doesn't live up to the hype, what does that mean for all of these future projects? Which brings me to my concerns. I'm not too confident that DC has a long-term plan for its extended universe. I mean, it's 2017, they announced films up to 2020 and we're still getting change-ups to our projects and directors? And I know what some people will say, oh, but Marvel did almost exactly the same thing. But the difference is Marvel has a proven track record for success, whereas DC doesn't. In fact, Justice League has changed the synopsis of the film due to reshoots, placing Wonder Woman more in the limelight, meaning she's going to have more of a team leader role now and not Batman. I have no problem with this, but in the end of Batman vs Superman, Batman being a hero who has his faith restored in humanity and wanting to build a team now because of the death of Superman, and Wonder Woman was skeptical to the idea because she feels
Man made a world where standing together is impossible.
now, that was how Batman vs Superman had ended, and timeline wise, in the next film, that role has suddenly changed. Now, if Justice League is received as well as Wonder Woman, it will put a lot of thumb fiddlers like myself to rest. But currently, I'm not too confident in the long-term direction of this universe. Will this fast-tracked universe manage to have a large roster of both protagonists and antagonists that we as an audience will be able to connect with? Will they have chemistry on screen with each other that's organic? I'm not too sure. But tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'm going to leave it here. But until next time, this is Big Screen, Little Screen.
Creepy little beast!